We are going to study about life cycle in agaricus. Agaricus is your normal mushroom that you know. How this mushroom is growing, we'll try to study. So if you're seeing this mushroom, it will have the vegetative part below the soil. Okay, this vegetative part is called as, what do you call this as? What do you call this extensive structure as? Yes, mycelium. Okay, it will be growing. And whenever there is a favorable condition is there, it will try to produce what we call it as a fruiting body or a basidiocarp. This structure is called as a basidiocarp. We eat the fruiting body or the basidiocarp when it comes to mushroom. Okay. The edible portion above the ground is called as the basidiocarp. Okay. And then we have something called as a, this part is called as a cap and this part is called as a stalk. So this part is called as a stalk and this part is called as a cap. Okay. So if you are able to see this underneath that structure, you will be able to see lots of these structures like this. These lots of these structures are called as gills. We call them as gills. If you are going to see the structure of gill, I'll just show you. Okay, so this entire thing only I told you. Okay, this entire thing you have, this is what I told you as stalk. In this stalk is there, and there is some region which is called as collar in between in some cases. You have this lamella or gills. The other name for gills is lamella. Okay, so this is the structure that we studied about. So if you are looking at this each gill will be lining up with lots of these structures called as basidia. So you see here, you are able to see this structure. So each gill will have like this, a line of structures which is called as basidia. Okay, so in singular is basidium, plural is basidia. You will be like having structures like these. What will this basidium will contain? You will see here, each one will have the basic basal portion is called as basidium. On top of it, you will see something called as the basidiospore. Okay, so if you are seeing here, this is how it will be there. If you are seeing the mushroom, the gill will be there. If you are seeing that gill, basically you will see like structures like this. These structures are called as basidia. In that, the basal portion is called as basidium, and you are seeing the spores. Is that clear? So you see here, this is also even clear. So if you're seeing that area alone, if you see that gills will be lined with basidia, and Basidia will have basidiospores. Is it clear? Yes, all mushrooms will be gilled. We call them as lamella. You might not be able to see them visibly, so in some cases, but still they will be present. It is the gills that are going to produce this thing called as basidia. So why do we call them as basidiomycetes? Because they are producing this kind of basidia. Okay. There are mushrooms which are poisonous. There are mushrooms which are good also. You eat something, no? This agaricus. If you are talking agaricus structure, let us see agaricus. Agaricus is the normal mushroom. You see, this is your agaricus will look like. So agaricus is the mushroom that you eat. You are able to still see the gills. Gills is present. Agaricus bisporous, but that H will not come. Okay. The common mushroom that we eat is called as agaricus. Okay, so this is the structure of agaricus. You're able to see the stipe, you're able to see the annulus, you're able to see gills, and pileus is nothing but the cap. Pileus is also called as cap. I told you. Annulus is also called as collar. Okay, and then stalk is that stick like structure, club like structure. Yes, this is what we call it as button mushrooms. This is the mushroom that we eat commonly. This entire structure is what we call it as the basidiocarp, and underneath whatever you is the mycelium. Are we clear? So how reproduce is the question. This is the structure. So we will try to study about reproduction in agaricus. So children, please listen here. What you are able to do is, first of all, what will happen is you have a fungus. Okay, this agaricus is there. Okay, so this agaricus will release this. It will try to liberate, and it will form a germination. Will be there. So okay, so let me. They will not reproduce by fragmentation. They will reproduce by asexual cycle or sexual cycle. Okay. So in A, normally what will happen is spores are not seen. Okay. Fragmentation is sometimes seen. Okay, so fragmentation is seen in some cases, very rare cases. Spores are not seen. Asexual reproduction, spores is not seen. But in sexual reproduction, how I'll try to tell you. So let us say that there is a mycelium which is here. There is one more thing, mycelium, which is there. Okay. Let's say that one is kind of having kind of arrangement. This is like one type of cell. And let us say that one more type of cell. Okay, you have two varieties of cells are there. What will happen is will fuse to form a structure which is dikaryon. I'm just telling, I mean, like, just copy this thing, I'll explain. It will try to form a dikaryon structure. You just copy this diagram, then you will understand it automatically. So this dikaryon will develop into basidiocarp. Basidiocarp will mature. Okay. This will have basidiospores. Basidiospores will fuse to form the zygote. Zygote meiosis will happen. And from and this haploid spores so basically there are two events which happening is like I'll try to tell you first of all. There are two events which are happening here in this cycle. One is happening underneath the ground and one is happening above the ground. The ground, there are two varieties which are there. Okay, let us say that this is a plus strain and this is a minus strain. And it will try to give rise to a basidiocarp. It will try to give rise to a basidiocarp. The basidiocarp is arising from a dikaryon state. Dikaryon means what? Two nucleus is there. That is what we call it as dikaryon state. So you have these two things fused together to get a dikaryon stage. This dikaryon stage is developing into a basidiocarp. Dikaryon means two nucleus is there, fusion has not happened. That is what we mean by dikaryon. Whenever I'm trying to tell about dikaryon, I'm just saying that there are two nucleus which are there, but they are not fused together. You are able to see that the yellow color and the blue color has not fused with each other. Okay. So in a dikaryon stage, both are like kind of independent, but they are present together in the same cell or same kind of structure. So this will give rise to basidiocarp. Basidiocarp, what is that basidiocarp? We have studied here. So you see this basidiocarp. So basically this is the structure. Spores have germinated. So you have got two different types of cells. These two things have fused together to form a dikaryon. This dikaryon is developing into this fruiting body. So gradually it is developing into the fruiting body. Okay. So here it is developing into the fruiting body. Once the fruiting body is formed, the fruiting body will have what? The fruiting body will have basidiospores. Yeah, dikaryon means fusion of protoplasm. After the plasmogamy, you will enter into a dikaryon state. Okay, so after plasmogamy, you will get into dikaryon state. Basidiocarp is grown, and after that, what is happening? The basidiocarp is maturing. In the basidiocarp, what we know, in the gills, there are basidia which will have basidiospores. Okay. Basidiocarp is the fruiting body. Yes, basidiocarp is the fruiting body that is maturing. The basidiocarp will have basidiospores. In the basidiospores, fusion happens. In the basidiospores, fusion is happening. And what is happening? The zygote is formed. So till this, it will be existing only as dikaryon. And after that, it is fusing. Zygote is formed. Okay. And then what is happening? It is undergoing meiosis. Once this meiosis happens, you are getting haploid spores. When the haploid spores are germinated, they will fall into the soil again. So what has happened? This basidia has formed. Inside this basidiocarp, fusion has happened. And after fusion, meiosis has happened. And meiosis has produced haploid spores. And this haploid spore is falling down into the soil. It is trying to develop a different hypha. Are we understanding? We cannot call this as vegetative propagation. Why we cannot call it as vegetative propagation? This is one plant. This is another plant. Both these things are fused to form a structure. Here fusion is happening, which means it is sexual reproduction. Okay, we cannot call this as vegetative propagation. Why we cannot call it as vegetative propagation? Because this is one type of mycelium. This is another type of mycelium. Both these things are fused together to form a basidiocarp. Inside the basidiocarp, you are having the fusion which is seen. After which you are able to see the meiosis also. And then again it is developing haploid spores, and then it is trying to develop into these structures. These things are formed underneath. So let us say that this will become a plus strain. And then again after some time, there is a minus strain which is like kind of growing here nearby. This plus and minus will join together to form a new basidiocarp. Let us say that these two things will fuse together to form a new basidiocarp, and this new fungi will be formed. Again, what will happen here? The same thing will happen. Fusion will happen, meiosis will happen, and then haploid spores will be formed. And then what will happen? What will have to the after the reproduction is completed? After the spores are dispersed, that will die. Usually mushrooms and all will not live for longer. The basidiocarp will not be surviving for longer time. Once the spores are dispersed, they will die. That is what I told you. Mostly in terms of asexual reproduction is reported in the species, in these group of organisms. Usually spores are not seen. Spore formation is not seen, but very rarely fragmentation is seen. So maybe there is a chance that fragmentation can lead to production of minus strain or plus strain independently. Okay. So say for example, let us say that this particular spore has come and fallen and it is trying to reproduce. This can go for fragment, and sometimes what can happen is this fragment can detach and it can grow into what? It can grow into a new structure. So fragmentation is reported in some species. That is the asexual mode which is seen here. But 99% it is only through sexual reproduction. Very rarely is the asexual reproduction seen. Yeah, dikaryotic cells, you can call it as diploid, not a problem. They have two different nucleus, so they are diploid. Okay, let me just give you a small idea of meiosis, okay, and mitosis. Someone is asking me what is the basic difference between mitosis and meiosis. So let me just give you that idea of mitosis and meiosis. Let us say that you have a body cell in your body. Okay, so let's say for example, my skin is growing in my body, or I got a wound in my skin. That wound is going to grow, or like I am growing as a person. Okay, their cell division will happen. Okay, whenever I'm growing, what is happening? Cell division is happening. All my cells will have 46 chromosomes. Why I am having 46 chromosomes? 23 chromosomes are given by my father, and 23 chromosomes are given by my mother. So in my cells, all my cells, I will have 46 chromosomes. If from one cell, another cell is to be formed, that cell should also have 46. So what will happen? This 46 will multiply into 2 and it will become 92. And this 92 will be divided into 46 and 46. This is called as mitosis. So basically a diploid cell is becoming 2n into 2 and it is dividing into 2n and 2n. This is what we call it as mitosis. This will happen in all growth cells. In my body, my hair is growing. This is the way it will grow. In my body, my nails are growing. This is the way it will grow. In my body, my muscles are growing. This is the way it will grow. In my body, other cells are growing. All the cells which are growing will grow only in mitosis. Okay. Here, the parent cell and the daughter cells have the same amount of chromosomes. Okay. So basically, somatic cells will have mitosis. But there are certain cases like reproductive cells. Whenever a sperm is forming or an egg is forming, we call them as germ cells. Germ cells will not show mitosis. So whenever germ cells are there, a cell which is 46 will multiply into 2 to form 92. After 92 is formed, it will become 23 into 2, 23 into 2. And finally, this will further divide into 23, 23, 23, 23. So the parent which is there is having 2n, 2 sets, whereas the daughter cell's final product is having only 1 set. This kind of reproduction is called as meiosis. Okay, why this should happen? Because my dad is going to give me the sperm. If the sperm is going to have 46 and the mother parent is going to give you egg, Egg is also going to have 46. The resultant offspring, the son, will get 96, which is a disaster. Why? Because I will have 96 chromosomes. But how many should I have? I should have only 46, which means this should not happen. So which means the sperm shell should have only 23. Similarly, the egg cell should also have only 23. Only if 23 and 23 are going to fuse, you will get 46. Okay, which means the sperm cell and the egg cell should be haploid. The gametes should be haploid. Yeah, 92, I'm sorry. Okay, so basically I will have 46 if I should have 46 chromosomes, my parents should have given me 23, 23. Okay, so here what is happening is, so in my parents' body, so let us say that a man is going to produce sperm cell. In his body, 46 chromosomes will be first multiplied into 2, it will become 92. There will be 2 rounds of division. The first division will give me 46, 46, and the second division will give me 23, 23. So ultimately, from one cell, 4 cells are produced. One cell is first multiplying into 2, and then like it is dividing into 4 cells. This kind of cycle is what we call it as meiosis. Okay, so this is not happening in all the cells in parents' body. This is happening only in certain areas. Those cells will be multiplying constantly. Okay, so parents will not have 23 chromosomes after this. Parents will still have 46. The parents will have some cells which they have given it to you, which will again multiply. Don't worry about parents. Parents will still have 46 only. This is part of the third unit in NCERT. Okay, so the parents will not have any reduction. Meiosis is a reduction division. Yes, exactly. Meiosis is called as reduction division. Are we understanding? Coming back to the mainstream. Are you guys clear with Basidiomycetes and Agaricus? Children, are we clear about Basidiomycetes? Okay, so children, now we will move on further. Okay, so we have studied about Basidiomycetes. The last part of fungus is economic importance of fungus. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Imperfect fungi is there. Deuteromycetes is the last type. Okay, they are called as the imperfect fungi. So they only reproduce by asexual modes. Lots of them are parasitic. They cause a lot of diseases. Example, you have athlete's foot, ringworms, and other skin divisions, skin infections. They are not properly classified. So they are, yeah, deuteromycetes. Deuteromycetes is like the imperfect fungi. Okay, so they are not properly classified as such because we don't know much about it. Okay, so they reproduce only through mostly through fragmentation or spore formation. Okay, imperfect fungi means like we still don't know whether they are like fungus, like they have fungus like properties. Okay, so they are not behaving, I mean, like they can, they are mostly parasitic. The fungus basically about which we don't know anything at all. So the moment it is classified, what we are trying to do is this is a group of fungi where you have put into organisms where you don't know much details about. So what you are trying to do is they are trying to put them all together into deuteromycetes. So whenever there is a new fungus which they are observing, they will try to put it under this group called as deuteromycetes. So afterwards, what they will try to do is they once they are trying to find out what it is, they will try to move it on to the other groups. Okay. So why don't they reproduce by sexual reproduction? It is because they are that way. Okay. Why it is happening, we cannot say that thing. So how this is happening, I mean, like you please understand why there was a sexual reproduction need at the first place. Okay. First of all, initially all organisms were reproducing only asexually. Okay. So asexually, one organism was dividing into two, and then binary fission was the most common method of reproduction. But some cells were not capable of dividing. Let us say that this is a minus cell, and let us say that this is a plus cell. So there were certain cells which are capable of dividing, which we call it as the plus fungi. Okay, and the other one is called as a minus fungi, like which is a minus cell which is not capable of reproduction. But there were occasions when two minuses started to join together, it became a plus and it started to divide further. Okay, so it becomes this way. So which means minus and minus became plus, and then this is how sexual reproduction would have evolved. Okay, and then probably this is how the reproduction of sexual reproduction is evolved. So probably they are all like too old group, so that like they have not evolved properly in terms of sexual reproduction. Okay, Penicillium is not Deuteromycetes. Penicillium will come under Ascomycetes. Penicillium is an example for Ascomycetes. Please don't confuse. Penicillium cannot be called as a imperfect fungi. Penicillium is an example for Ascomycetes. Yesterday only we studied about Penicillium. Are we guys understanding? So this is how the sexual reproduction would have evolved. So probably because of that, they are the earlier ones. So they will cause a lot of diseases. They'll cause a lot of diseases like athlete's foot, ringworm, skin infections, and all are done. Okay, they are not properly classified. Once you are like kind of classifying them, you move on to the other group. Some of the examples that you can give. You have something called as alternaria, and there is something called as cercospora. These are all examples. It is not that these fungi are not identified. They are identified, but they are not able to understand. They are not able to understand whether these organisms are belonging to which group. Okay. Okay, with this thing, we are completing this thing. We are moving on to economic importance. If you're talking about economic importance, there are some useful roles. What are the useful roles? First thing, it is used in alcohol industry. Okay. Which organism is used? Saccharomyces cerevisiae. This is what we call it as baker's yeast. So this baker's yeast is like kind of used for alcohol industry in breweries. So you guys would have studied about this thing. Whenever sugar is there, treated with anaerobic fermentation, it will produce what, and what? In 10th standard, you would have studied in life process. When sugar is there, glucose is converted into what? Alcohol. Alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. This alcohol is called as ethanol. This is what people drink usually in alcoholic beverages. Okay, so basically, what is this? All these drinks that people drink, it is all coming from this thing only. I mean, like because of this fungi, they are trying to produce lots of this thing, lots of quantities of substances. So you have your wine. Wine uses grape as a substrate. You have beer. Beer uses barley as a substrate. Okay, so these two things are called as unclear drinks, unclear alcohol. What is the meaning of unclear alcohol? They will just ferment it and then they will keep that thing, just filter it and keep it. Okay, but this will have less percentage of alcohol compared to other drinks. What they will do is, they will, if they are taking this and then they are trying to distill it. If distillation process happens, what is the meaning of distillation process? Where like you try to concentrate only the alcohol part. Okay, while you're taking wine, you're taking wine in a particular container and you're heating it. Alcohol will evaporate. When alcohol is evaporating, you will cool the alcohol. What will happen? This alcohol will alone come first. This you are collecting it. This is called as a distillation process, where you are concentrating the alcohol. So if you are going to concentrate this alcohol, wine will become what we call, people call it as brandy. Okay, so this beer will become what people commonly call it as whiskey. So these are all alcoholic beverages. That will make use of fungi. What fungi is used here? Your Saccharomyces or yeast. Okay, when this base is changed, the type of alcoholic beverage will change. Some are fermented from wine. Some are fermented. I mean, some are fermented from grape. Some are fermented from barley. So some take rice as a substrate. Some take, say for example, your potato as a substrate. Okay. So based on the base that you are changing, the type of alcohol will change. So that is the basic difference between alcohols. Okay. Alcohol is like kind of produced. Alcohol industry heavily depend on fungi. Which fungi? More specifically, it will use Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Okay. So it is going to use Saccharomyces cerevisiae for your thing. Then the second industry is baking. Baking industry. So in the baking industry, you have baker's yeast. This is also Saccharomyces cerevisiae is only used. They make dough and they will add yeast to it. The yeast will release carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide will make the cakes fluffy. That cakes are made fluffy or spongy is because of what? It is because of this yeast. Okay, so the baking industry will use fungus. Okay, what fungus? Again, it will use only yeast. The third industry which is going to use is cheese production. Okay, Penicillium sporus is used. It is used to get blue fungi, blue cheese. Okay. So normally bacteria is only used in cheese production, but fungus will also be used in last stage to get a characteristic flavor. Different varieties of fungus are used to get different kind of cheeses. Yes, there is a cheese variety which is called as blue cheese. For getting blue cheese, you will use the spores of Penicillium sporus. Okay, the spores of Penicillium is added, and then like you will get that characteristic color and flavor. Okay, so this is in cheese production, it is used. Apart from that, in medicines to produce antibiotics. So it is trying to produce antibiotics, your penicillin or streptomycin. Streptomycin is from bacteria. Erythromycin are all examples for antibiotics. The tetracycline is also the tetracycline, ampicillin, all those things are example. Just you learn a few antibiotics name. Then it is used as food. Mushroom is used as food. Agaricus is the name. Button mushrooms are used for this thing. Okay, so mushrooms are said to be good in vitamin B3 and vitamin B5. Similarly, you also see vitamin A, C, and D as well. So these are all uses of fungi. So the next one is harmful effects. If you are going to talk about harmful effects, the first one is they will cause diseases. So skin diseases, or you have this plant diseases. There is a huge lot of diseases which we'll study in 12th standard, the diseases name and all. You please understand that ringworm is one thing. Ringworm is a common disease. Athlete's foot. Are all examples. So then it can cause food poisoning. Yeah, baking powder also does the same thing. If you are not using yeast, you can use baking powder. Both baking powder will do the similar work of yeast. Some people will not add yeast, some people will add yeast. Baking powder is not a living creature. So if you're talking about Jain people, and then like if you're talking about vegan people, they will not use yeast. They will rather go for baking powder. So food poisoning is there. The third one is deterioration of materials. So say for example, during winter season, have you seen your shoes and all? Okay, so have you ever seen your shoes and all those things? During winter season, you will be like seeing that the shoes and the leather couches and all will become fungus. It will be like kind of like making the white color thing that is there. So what will it do? It will try to reduce the life of those things. In your belt and all, leather belts and all, you'll be able to see. In your leather shoes, you will see some growth. So what will happen? They will try to use the leather and then like they will try to eat. So that way it is like kind of uneconomical, because it is like kind of deteriorating the substance. When fungus grows on wood and all, wooden cords and all will get deteriorated. If a person is like living in a very moist place, this will happen. Okay, so with this thing, fungus is over. Tomorrow's class, we'll continue with viruses. Okay, so after completing viruses, I think the chapter should be over. So tomorrow, this chapter should be over. Okay, so now let us just go through the slides once again. So you just copy down. In case if you want to take a snapshot, you please take it. First slide. Second slide. Third slide. Fourth slide. Fifth slide. Sixth slide. It is not about memorizing, it is about knowing the things. So if you think that you have to memorize to keep it in mind, you have to. I think if you understand, you should be able to answer questions. Seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th. Okay, so some children were asking me about your textbooks that you can refer. Okay, if you can buy a copy of Truman's publication and read, that is there. I mean, any market book, MTG books are good. Okay, similarly, like you can go for Truman, that is also good. Cengage publication is also good. Okay, so you just have to like pick up a copy. Some children prefer Arihan series. Arihan series is also good. So you can pick either of these four. I am not sure about tomorrow's timetable, so they will let you know about it. Okay, thank you children. Thank you very much.